There are battles born from rage, battles born from justice, and then there are the battles that should never happen. Because if they do, entire realities tremble. This is the story of the one clash so dangerous, so unpredictable, that both the DC and Marvel universes whispered the same fear. If the Flash ever met the Silver Surfer in combat, neither universe would survive the aftermath. Before we dive into this impossible collision of forces, subscribe to Genesis Vault to enter worlds where physics fractures, heroes collide, and legends break their limits. But our story doesn't begin with a battle. It begins with a sound, a low, growing hum felt across the Speed Force, as if reality itself was being pulled apart. Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, was deep within the shifting currents of the Speed Force when he sensed it. A ripple moving against the flow. A tear. A presence that didn't belong in his universe. He didn't know it yet, but on the other side of that cosmic wound, the Silver Surfer rode the edge of existence, tracing a disturbance in the fabric of space. Something or someone had run so fast, they cracked a path into his universe. Two forces were now heading toward the same point, and both believed the other was the threat. The story truly begins on a quiet night in Central City. Barry stops running, landing atop a rooftop with sparks of lightning dancing around him. He looks around, scanning the skyline. Then it hits him. A wave of energy, foreign and cold. Not magical. Not alien. Something older. Something cosmic. A silver streak tears through the clouds. Smooth. Fluid. Effortless. Not a meteor. Not a ship. A being. He descends like a silent star falling from heaven. Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer, glowing with the power cosmic, his board barely whispering against the wind. Barry stands his ground. Lightning crackles. Cosmic energy pulses. The Surfer speaks first. "You ruptured the boundary between universes," he says, voice echoing like distant thunder. "Your speed has consequences you do not understand." Barry narrows his eyes. "I didn't break anything. I'm just trying to contain it." The Surfer's eyes flash with cold light. "Containment is no longer possible. You are the epicenter. And if you continue drawing power at your current rate, your universe will collapse." Barry takes a step forward. "I'm not the threat here." The Surfer raises a hand, cosmic energy blooming across the sky. "I disagree." The first attack is silent. A beam of compressed starlight fires toward Barry. He moves the moment it forms. A streak of red lightning slips around the blast, spiraling up the building and launching forward. Barry throws a punch. To the human eye, it's invisible. To a godlike cosmic herald, it's almost slow motion. The Surfer blocks with a single hand. The shockwave bends the skyline. Windows shatter. Clouds split. Barry skids backward across the rooftop, boots carving lines into concrete. His mind races. He blocked it. With one hand, the Surfer rises into the air, cosmic light radiating around him. "Speed is impressive," he says, "but power reshapes worlds." Barry smirks. "Then let's see what happens when they collide." He runs. Not across the rooftop. Not across the city. He runs upward into the sky itself, spiraling in a helix of lightning, drawing on the deepest layers of the Speed Force. The clouds swirl into a vortex around him. He launches himself at the Surfer. This time, the Surfer doesn't block. He phases. A cosmic shift. His body flickers into pure energy. Barry passes straight through him, and the universe screams. The sky cracks into jagged violet fractures. Stars flicker. Gravity shifts. Silver Surfer turns, eyes wide. "You just destabilized the boundary further." Barry freezes midair. "I didn't mean." The Surfer's voice sharpens. "Intent does not matter. Only consequence." He raises his hands. The power cosmic condenses into a sphere the size of a city block. Light warps. Space bends. Barry feels the temperature of reality change. He knows what's coming. A containment blast. The kind that could erase him, or worse, seal the rift by destroying everything connected to the Speed Force. He whispers, "I can't let you do that." He runs. He hits the cosmic blast head-on. Lightning and starlight collide in a storm so bright the night turns to white. Barry pushes. The surfer pushes back. Two forces, one born of speed, one born of cosmic creation, slam together in the sky. Then, everything explodes. Central City vanishes beneath a sphere of pure energy. Time slows. The air freezes. Even thoughts seem to pause. Barry wakes first. Floating. Drifting. Not in the sky. Not in his world. He is somewhere between universes, suspended in a void of collapsing color and unraveling timelines. The surfer hovers opposite him. But this time, there is no hostility in his face. Only realization. "You are not the threat," Surfer says quietly. "You are the anchor." Barry breathes shakily. What does that mean? The surfer gestures to the swirling chaos around them. When you ran, you created a breach. But something else is holding it open. Something pulling both universes toward a single point. Barry looks into the void. Lightning flashes. He sees shadows, shapes, something moving, and it's running. Not toward them, away from them. Barry's voice drops to a whisper. "That's impossible." The surfer watches the shape disappear into deeper darkness. "What is it, Flash?" Barry swallows hard. "It's not a what, it's a who." The surfer tilts his head. "Explain." Barry's pulse quickens. Someone else has been using the speed force. Someone fast enough to hide their trail, fast enough to break into your universe, and make it look like I did it. The surfer's eyes narrow. "And fast enough," he says, "to threaten two realities at once." Barry nods. "And if we don't stop him, your universe and mine will collapse into each other." The void trembles as another shockwave ripples outward. Something is coming. Something faster than Barry has ever felt. And it isn't running alone. Barry whispers, "We're not dealing with a speedster." He looks into the darkness. "We're dealing with a force." The surfer turns toward the darkness, cosmic energy swirling around him. "Then we must follow, before it reaches the center of both realities." Barry takes a breath. Lightning rises around him. "Then let's run." They step forward, Flash crackling with the speed force, Surfer glowing with cosmic fire, and dive into the collapsing void after the unknown entity that started it all. The universes tremble. The chase begins. The entity ahead was barely visible, an outline flickering between realities, moving faster than light, warping the very fabric of space with its velocity. Barry felt the pull in the speed force, like a current twisted by a storm he couldn't navigate. The surfer sensed it too, a dissonance in the cosmic harmony he had never encountered. "We're close," Barry said, voice tight. "I can feel its energy, like it's feeding off both our powers." The surfer's gaze hardened. "Then we must be ready to act. But caution. Flash, one misstep, and the collapse becomes inevitable." The entity slowed slightly, almost as if aware of their pursuit. Barry surged forward, past the limits he had ever tested, the speed force bending around him. But every step forward made the void more unstable. Stars shattered into dust. Time flickered in staccato bursts. The surfer flew alongside, raising his hands, manipulating the power cosmic to stabilize their path. Together, they became a strange fusion, speed meeting raw cosmic force, tearing a path through a dying reality. Then the entity stopped. In a space between collapsing stars, it hovered. And in that moment, its true form revealed itself. It wasn't a speedster. It wasn't human. It was a being of pure kinetic energy, faster than any mind could comprehend, yet intelligent, calculating, and malicious. It spoke, not with words, but a resonance that shook their minds. "You cannot catch me. You cannot stop me. You only accelerate your own destruction." Barry clenched his fists. "I'm the fastest man alive. I will stop you." The surfer's voice was calm, unwavering. "Power alone won't work, Barry. You must combine forces, or the shockwave will tear both universes apart." The first collision happened in a heartbeat. Barry struck with lightning speed, phasing in and out of the energy being, leaving streaks of red across the void. The entity absorbed his attacks, twisting them into chaotic bursts that ricocheted through space. The surfer countered with a wave of the power cosmic, forcing the energy to disperse temporarily. The impact created a chain reaction, rivers of energy cascading through collapsing stars, bending timelines into impossible loops. Barry realized this was no ordinary battle. Every punch, every dash, every cosmic blast was not just a fight. It was a test of survival for the entire multiverse. You can't outrun this force, the surfer warned. It's not about speed or strength. It's about timing, coordination, and understanding what it wants. Barry's mind raced. He tried to analyze the entity's movement patterns, but its speed defied all logic. Then he noticed it, the tiny fluctuations, the slight pauses in its energy flow. It's not mindless, Barry said. It's learning, adapting, and it's targeting us specifically. The surfer's eyes glowed. Then we must become unpredictable. Faster yet calculated. Stronger yet precise. They moved as one, Barry weaving through the entity's attacks with unseen precision, the surfer striking with controlled bursts of cosmic energy. The void around them became a storm of red lightning and silver light. Every strike was a shockwave. Every dodge was a fracture in reality. And the entity retaliated with bursts that threatened to erase everything in sight. Suddenly, the entity unleashed a pulse that sent Barry and the surfer flying in opposite directions. Barry slammed into a shard of reality, feeling stars and fragments of universes scrape against him. He gritted his teeth, pushing forward through the pain. The surfer, undeterred, rose from the void, radiant and unstoppable. Together, they converged again, faster than before, creating a tornado of energy that threatened to collapse the entity into itself. For a moment, it looked like they had succeeded. The entity's form began to destabilize. Red energy and cosmic light collided in a violent explosion, shaking the foundations of both universes. But then, the entity split into multiple copies, each faster, each stronger, each more unpredictable. Barry's eyes widened. This is impossible. The surfer's voice was grim. It's feeding off our powers. The more we attack, the stronger it becomes. Time fractured around them. The boundaries between universes blurred. Barry and the surfer realized they were not just fighting for themselves. They were fighting for the survival of everything. Barry slowed for a heartbeat, a dangerous move in this chaotic dance. Surfer, we can't just fight it. We need to trap it. A place where it can't escape, where it can't touch either universe. The surfer nodded, understanding immediately. I know a space, a dimensional rift beyond the void. It is unstable, dangerous, but it might contain the entity. Barry smiled faintly, lightning crackling around him. Then let's run. Not just to chase, but to trap. They surged forward, dodging explosions of energy and shards of collapsing realities. The entity's cries, if they could be called that, echoed like distorted thunder, threatening to tear apart the very fabric of existence. Finally, they reached the rift, a swirling, unstable void, edges cracking, stars blinking in and out of existence. Barry and the surfer exchanged a glance, understanding the risk. One misstep and both could be consumed. But it was their only chance. With a coordinated strike, Barry's speed and the surfer's cosmic energy, they pushed the entity into the rift. The rift buckled, energy spiraling, the void screaming as it attempted to resist. Barry held his position, anchoring the speed force, while the surfer stabilized the rift with the power cosmic. The entity thrashed, growing larger, faster, more violent, but slowly, impossibly, it began to be drawn into the collapsing void. A final surge of cosmic lightning, a violent crack, and silence. Barry drifted in the void, catching his breath. The surfer hovered beside him, radiant but wary. The rift remained unstable, but the entity was gone. You did well, Flash, the surfer said. But understand this, the consequences of such collisions do not end here. Other forces, other threats may follow. Barry nodded. I know. But right now we survived. And the universes are still standing. The surfer looked at him, eyes glowing. Survived, yes. But the shockwave, the echo of this battle will be felt across reality. Others may sense it, and some will come. Barry clenched his fists, lightning dancing around him. Then we'll be ready. Faster and stronger, together. The void stabilized. The boundaries between universes began to heal. And for the first time in what felt like eternity, silence returned. But in the deepest shadows, beyond the repaired rift, a new pulse began. A speed unlike any before. A force that had witnessed this battle and learned. And somewhere, in the quiet cosmos, a new challenge waited, ready to test the limits of speed, power, and the very fabric of reality. The battle was over, but the consequences have only just begun. The Flash and the Silver Surfer may have survived, but their actions have sent ripples across all existence. What new forces will rise from the echoes of this clash? What secrets still lie hidden between universes? If you want to dive deeper into these cosmic showdowns, uncover hidden powers, and explore battles that could shatter worlds, make sure you subscribe to Genesis Vault and join the journey where heroes, speed, and cosmic might collide.